Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem Akarkadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely, and shalom to the Akim scattered four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. I say shalom to the Akim out there, and this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out from RT.com as of July the 23rd, 2023 in the business news category. And as we've been seeing through the whole year of 2023, the market's been having a good, successful gain, then the market's been crashing, then that kind of affects the dollar as well too. Because we've been seeing the weakening of the dollar, been up and down. Keep that in mind as well too. I just want to add an additional note to that. As of lately in the year 2023, as we've been seeing with the warnings of the Silicon Valley Bank, the PacWest banks and other financial banks and stuff like that, been crashing, and that kind of affect the other economics of the of banks of around the world as well too. Asia and Europe in particular, that been happening for the past 2.5 months, close to 3 months. So this is a news article from RT.com as of July the 23rd, 2023, and it reads, Robert Kiyosaki predicts U.S. stock market crash. The finance guru early warned that hiking interest to battle inflation may have a negative impact efforts on stocks. Right, let's keep this in mind as I've been, doing sit-down lessons in regards to the markets. Been up and down this year, and because the markets, it kind of reacts what's going on globally, financially, what the Federal Reserve, what their announcement is going to be made. Is they going to continue to raise the interest rates, and stuff like that, as I've been touching, doing lessons on that in particular, because the markets, it reacts what's going on around financially wise, and that been up and down as we've been continuing to see that. So I just want to add an additional note to that, but continuing on, it says the read-on right in economics, Robert Kiyosaki, warned investors of a stock market downturn in a tweet this week. According to the Kiyosaki, there are too many signs that spell a crash in the market in the near future. Yet too many signs point to a severe stock market crash. If your future depends on stocks and bonds, please be careful. Possibility ask for professional advice. Afraid depression coming. The tweet. It says Kiyosaki, who predicted the collapse in Lehman Brothers in 2008, said he does not play the stock or bond himself as he prefers hands-on control too much. He did not detail why it expects stocks to plunge in the latest tweet. Early, however, he predicted that the U.S. Federal Reserve will raise the interest rates to rein in a runaway price and warned that this turn would cause stocks and bonds and real estate and golds to crash. He also so far proven correct, as the country has faced its worst inflation in decades over the past several months, which is true. Over the past few months, who prompted the Fed to implement a series of interest rates. This rate is currently 5% to 5.25%, up from 0% in early 2022. So far, the U.S. asset price and economic growth has seems to resilience the higher borrowing costs. The benchmark S&P 500 index 17% so far this year. The NASDAQ composite has grown 35% due to the surge in betting in artificial intelligence. However, in a tweet, Kiyosaki claimed that the current growth in the stock market is not a sign of health, but the product of a suspension of the debt ceiling Washington passed last month to avoid a default. And it says, while the stock market is taking off because the debt ceiling removed means the national debt to rise, with stock market rich get rich as the Americans get poorer, sadly. sticking with real money and real asset, gold, silver, Bitcoin. He tweeted on July the 14th, which was a couple of weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago. It says, total the U.S. debt now stands at 32 trillion, and according to a recent warning from the Congressional Budget Official (CBO), it was nearly double over the 3 decades, jumping from this year's estimate of 98% of the GDP to 181% by 2053, unless the legislation is changed. And this is the book of Revelations. Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. It's the book of Revelation chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried with a strong voice, saying, mighty voice, saying, Babylon, the great is fallen, and has become the habitations of deceivers, and a hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of unclean, and HATEFUL bird. Right, we're seeing the signs of Babylon is falling on the economic wise, just like ancient Babylon. And we see the modern day version of Babylon is collapsing on the economic scale, and many different aspects of it's consistently falling. Even though it might have times to bounce back with the economy and the economy growth and job growth, house market growth, and all that, etc. Then we've been seeing the signs, the weakening of the American dollar. The top global currency reserve is going to be knocked off by Russia or China or the BRICS nation that been formed in 2014 all the way until now, as they try to overthrow the American dollar, as they come with their own form of currency, which is a gold-backed currency to overthrow the American dollar. So we've definitely been seeing signs of the economy of the paper dollar as a top global currency reserve, as the nations are not depending on it no more. As I believe it was a news article that came out of the BRICS nations, other nations was about to join the BRICS nations, like potentially 40 countries. So that shows you that the signs of these same nations that they was alliance with Babylon from an economical standpoint, now they're turning away from it, So that's why we've been seeing the American dollar has been at its lowest since for the last 25 or 26 years, if I'm not mistaken, as I mentioned that previously. So yeah, that was a signs of increasing. Babylon is crumbling on the economic scale. So this was a news article from RT.com from Robert predicts a U.S. stock market crash, and that's been true. Because we've been seeing the market's been up and down, definitely crashing, and it kind of affects the American dollar as well too, as a top global currency reserve. So we're gonna see how the markets react. What's this new week come up? And I believe the Federal Reserve, they're supposed to be meeting with each other on July the 25th or 26th, if I'm not mistaken, as they continue to raise the interest rates, even though the inflation been cooling a little bit for the past couple of months or so, and the market's been up and down, even though they've been having positive gain as well too. But still, at the same time, the U.S. dollar been decreasing and weakening as well too. So we're gonna see how it plays out when this brand new week of July comes in regards to the business financial situation of the stocks and markets. So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Karkadash. Shalom to the elders for preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.